is happening? Yeah, so, hey, everybody's probably like, oh, fuck, what's going on? Haven't heard Jack, um, from this channel in a while. What the fuck is happening? Did they die?
Nope.
Um, was did one become a cannibal?
Nope.
Um, numerous stories, I'm sure of it, numerous stories, and people have been waiting bated breath.
Nope.
Um, so let's get a little real. Now, this is probably going to be one of the most awkward episodes done. And, might be wrong. And eventually it might be an even more awkward one that eventually comes up. But right now, this is probably putting its flag down as the most awkward for now. So there might be some assumption. There might be some sort of conclusion that some people have come up with. And so we want to just iron out all the wrinkles and just say, here's the deal, and let that be. Because this is the truth. This is the honesty. This is the thing that makes us closer together. Because um, here's the shit. So it's me, the dude. And this is, as you've now come to love and know, um, to be the only podcast in the world with the shittiest audio but the most amazing content. Still, okay, it is still the the only podcast in the world. Okay, um, but now it's only one. So I'm not. I, it took a bit for me to to um, come to the point of doing this episode. I sat back trying to figure out, okay, how do I want to approach it? I did a really good version of what I'm about to say while driving. I was like, fuck, I should have recorded that and just put the recording up of me driving and saying it, and people would have understood. People would have been like, okay, this is about the typical, type of audio. Yeah, yeah. Weird car sound, auto sounds in the background and people honking and homeless people yelling at the windows. Yeah, this is typical. This is par for the course for them. But I wanted to do it in the studio, wanted it to be, nice quality and, you know, put on clean underwear for the date kind of thing. So here's the thing. No shade, no spilling tea, no animosity, nothing like that. Just letting people know so they don't come to their own conclusion and feel like, oh, okay, this or that must have happened. And I felt like it was necessary to do this episode to at least talk about it genuinely and fully, solely because despite despite what people might be thinking, um, we're still picking up awesome listeners. And so, first and foremost, thanks to the new listeners in well, we covered Ethiopia, but also Morocco and the Philippines. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some pretty swank people in I'm gonna butcher this, but oh yeah, in Marrakesh, Morocco, and then also in probably gonna Cord- Cordelia, Cordillera, yeah, Cordillera. I'm gonna go with that, Philippines. So thanks to everybody that keeps listening, and the new folks that have decided to start listening to this amazing, amazing little little thing we got going on here, and to the new females in a wonderful bracket that we don't usually cover. So thanks. Um, so yeah, it's me. It's only me now. It wasn't an argument or anything like that, but the dinosaur had she had to go off and do other things. And I think that one of the things that you will hear in a lot of the previous episodes that we've done, or we really valued mental, physical health. I don't know so much about spiritual, but in any case, I guess that all kind of, I guess that's the ether in between the mental and the physical. But um, it became a thing of where it was like, as much as she loved the podcast and doing it, there were certain things that she needed to do on top of all the other stuff that she was, well, frankly, enduring. And I guess, when you look at what you're doing production wise in anything that you do, if it becomes something to where you are now being more drained by it, stretched by it, or your level of output is just not the way you want it to be because you're putting so much effort and time into other things that it starts affecting it. You just sort of figure like, I gotta cut this before I become a real wreck. And especially if it's like you're wanting it so badly that you're pushing yourself, but at the same time you're detrimental to yourself as well. So it becomes a thing where that decision had to be made, and it wasn't. Definitely, we were not. Um, we supported each other, but we didn't push each other in the sense like it wasn't me saying to her, "Stick it out, you'll feel better." No, 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 don't do it. It was literally like me saying, "Okay, fuck off." I literally, said, "All right, fuck off," but in a good like do your own thing. I mean, but aside from all the awkward stuff, I'm not really going to put my own personal um, viewpoint on this because that can get really that I think that can skew things in a very biased way. But then also, I think the break, if you will, that I needed in order to digest everything and to be able to articulate it to everyone that's listening, that became a thing of where I needed to be able to process that myself in order to even figure out if I wanted to do this anymore. Because again, some of you probably point out in previous episodes, like, hey, you said that you would never do this without her. And true, I'm not. I'm, this is where it becomes like, if you watch Star Wars, there's nuance in what people say, but I'm not. I'm not going to do another Dinosaur and the Dude episode. There will not be another The Dinosaur and the Dude episode because it just there's not going to be a replacement dinosaur. We're not going to go from a T Rex to an Allosaurus. We're just not. So, um, but will I do my own thing? That's what I'm feeling out. Will I do my own thing on this channel? Yeah. Will this channel, evolve into new content that is solely um, my own, if you will? Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's something that I can now say aloud that I am embarking on. I'm still kind of molding out what that's going to all be about. I don't know what will survive, you know. It, so by that I mean um, oats, and I just started rabbit holes. That's kind of what I was alluding to, starting a new, on a new path, new direction. So they'll probably stick around, but there'll be some changes of things. But to get more back to the point here, um, because I will have a full episode after saying this, but I wanted to address this first. as a lot of you throughout the 3 years, 2.5 maybe of years of content that the dinosaur the dude is all about, you have heard the journey of the dinosaur going through the whole array of things health wise. And when you all last heard from her, she was on chemo and sarcoidosis, going through all that. And then there was a whole bunch of other things that was happening that was just personal. And I don't want to get into it further than that because of that. It's personal. I don't want to, and I don't want this to be my interpretation, in a episode based off of my interpretation of things to skew anything of reality. I'm just going to give you the basic no frills facts, and that's all I'm getting into is just those fucking facts. But that clearly, as you could have heard from numerous episodes, was taking a toll on her and her relationship with her wife and the things that they were trying to do as well. And so I have to admit, you're like, but you just said you're not going to make it personal. Fuck off. Listen, I have to admit that it was a kick in the dick, more like a kick in the taint, because you can't, like a taint kick. I don't know if you've ever been kicked in a taint. It's not a fun spot, but it was. But at the same time, I can't be mad at it. I mean, I can, but can't. Does that make sense? Like you can, you can be pissed off at something and not, and know that okay, have your moment of being pissed off, but at the same time, you can't get pissed off at this. I feel though that it's like because if you really love someone, and you want the best for them, you can you can be pissed off and still step the fuck out of the way, and that's not taking the high road about that, but that's what I had to do, and it takes some time to do it. I feel like though that the dinosaur knew that has always been a safe space between the two of us. I mean, we literally said that one night sitting on the patio at outside of a fucking bar slash eatery, down in pizza, just looked at each other and said like, you always have a safe space with me. That didn't mean that we talked all the time though. We just knew that whenever we did, we could be as genuine as fucking possible and know that the other would accept that for the fact that you had to, because you had to uphold that there was a genuine, no judgment type relationship that we had with each other. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person at fucking all, not at all. So having someone like that in your life where you knew you had that ability to be safe in that aspect was a great thing, and that's what we tried to bring later on, years later, into a what is categorized as a podcast, even though we didn't really feel ourselves to be doing a podcast, because we didn't go about it in the stereotypical way that other people are doing what they call podcasts. I think everybody knows my feelings on that, but it's just really a thing where I think I would be lying if I said I'm done processing it. I still am, because there's a lot of things that I do. There's a lot of things that are being done on this channel that still has reminders of her, that it just won't be replaced. So going forward, what does that mean? I still, a channel, as a means of discussion. Still want to have conversations, so I'm still open to getting people on that are able to have conversations about the different things that they do that I find are interesting and that I find is a great platform to have open discussions about things that don't have the typical oh, get on this channel because it's political, or get on this channel because it's edgy, or get on just genuinely want to know what the fuck is that all about. So having discussions, having conversations, as we've come to call them, conversations. Love to have conversations with different people. I'll be reaching out to different people in order to have those conversations. Hopefully they'll respond. We've done tons of no, not tons, that's just the thing to say. I've done a lot of reaching out to people to have conversations. Jane Elliott, thank you so much again. One of the few people that right off the bat was like, yeah, I'll fucking talk to you, and love her for that. Um, I feel that because of our small stature, because of our small reach and audience, a lot of people want to do podcasts that are more, they will work towards the favor of elevating their reach. And I get that. You don't, you you're trying to build your brand. I get it. So getting with a faceless audio only, having that type of conversation with anybody kind of puts I don't know if this is the right fit for me, especially when I'm trying to do this, that, or the other. Totally get it. But I'm going to keep trying, and hopefully we'll have a lineup of awesome conversations in the future. Don't know if and another thing's going to make it. It's just sort of one of those things where it was like, the effort is to not necessarily go on my own path. So it's not really changing a direction. It's just sort of doing, okay, I'm going to go from, you know, I'm going to switch from a minivan to an SUV kind of thing. I'm really wanting to continue going forward. It's just tweaking the platform, tweaking the channel to where the content is a little bit more focused on things I want to do. Whereas before, the dinosaur and I shared the platform, and so we like, okay, I'm going to talk about this, talk about that, and we had our main episodes, and then as you witnessed, we had like these two sub shows where these two segmented episodes where we were discussing strictly the particular things that we were interested in. Mine a little bit more shotgun of topics or things that just bug the fuck out of me, that were basically spawned from the ramblings of thoughts I would have while driving or dropping a shit. And the dinosaur would have more on the thing that I felt that she was really into, which was homesteading and holistic shit. So because of that, I feel like that, okay, that's kind of cliche to say, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. Those things need to go the way of the dinosaur, and and let that time and that collection of content stay in that place. I feel going forward, there needs to be some sort of revitalization of the content and breaking it into a way that encapsulates the new focus. Because if I'm doing this now, that's what has to be done. I can't really go about trying to pretend that this is still the dinosaur and the dude, and there's no dinosaur, but I'm gonna keep doing dinosaur and the dude shit. Um, that would be kind of weird. That would just be kind of weird. So probably going to see the evolution of content that kind of maybe seems familiar with Ode and another thing. Um, but like with that take, the rabbit holes, I think rabbit holes is a evolution of and another thing is oats, just with more focus. I feel, or at least that's what I'm intending. All of that being said, it's just a thing of where, of course, I hope the best and want the best for the dinosaur wife and, and her son. And I never, want ill towards them. Um, I feel though that everything that I'm doing now is going to have. I mean, it's kind of choking, not like an emotional way. Fuck you, no, like literally, no. It's adult struggle shit, like when you choke on saliva, swallowing, because swallowing is hard for some reason. Anyway, I feel that everything that we do now is going to be sort of an homage, tipping the hat, or have some sort of echo to that time past. But that's with every evolution, I think. Even for the fact that I'm still saying we, even though I know it's still me. But whatever the fuck. I feel that if we weren't getting these, like I'm looking at the stats and it's like all of a sudden I'm seeing that we have two new countries listening. I'm like, fuck, okay, so people are still listening, so people still are interested, giving a shit. Maybe I need to fucking give a shit, and because I'm sitting around trying to figure out what to do with this. I'm like, okay, I got all this. What do I do with it? So that also means probably going to drop some social media stuff. I never got anything going on Patreon, so probably need to drop that shit. Um, if we get striked with YouTube or something else, then so be it. But we're not. I'm not really going to change the content anymore for that. Um, if there's some salacious shit, I might have to reconsider Patreon, maybe. But cross that bridge kind of thing. And so, with all that, now you know. Um, it was a time thing, and honestly, it's probably not a surprise to a lot of people. Um, I have no clue. I have no understanding of it. I have no attempt in me to imagine at all what it's like with the conditions that the dinosaur was dealing with. Um, and on chemo and on steroids and on this and on and just the constant thing plus the relationship strain that was going on as well, because there's certain things you can and can't do with your own family anymore because you're on chemo and you're just fucking radiating the worst superpower possible. And so I can't even try to pretend that I know exactly what the fuck's going on or what that's like. Um, but that's where we are right now. And so, all that being said, I want to start off with a whole new episode. Let's just call it the only podcast in the world with the shittiest audio and the most amazing content. It's a long ass title. Fuck it. Let's break every fucking mold we got. So for right now, that's it. That's the working title. Still long, still long, yeah, but it's still, yeah, still the only podcast in the world with the shittiest audio and the most amazing content. Let's get into doing an episode together. It'll be our first time. We're not virgins. We just doing something new with each other, you know? We're trying something out. Trying something out we've seen on TV. We want to see if we got the knack for it too. So, let's do it. Okay, hey, today I'm sure we can't go into an episode without saying, check out our shit. And even though I'm fully aware of all the previous stuff I just said, for now, you can still go to TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. I'm not a fortune teller, but I have a pretty good idea that probably will change in the future. And in doing so, so will the merch. So if you want to get some soon to be nostalgic merch, now is the time to go. And I want to hear, I don't know what's going on with the economy in the world. We've got all these things going on and prices are going. I don't care about that. You go there and you get what you want. I'm going to tell you right now, no, like I already told you previously, some of the stuff is going to be removed from the site. And that was before the news I just gave you. So now, even more so, stuff's going to be removed from the site. So you might want to get that now so you can, have some special nostalgic shit for Christmas and white elephant gifts. I don't know. I'm just trying to get you to go to the website. Go for yourself. Check it out. It's TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. So go now and get some mythical, nostalgic shit that might not be around any longer. Um, and, might be the thing you want to get. Um, hey, what do I know? I just I just push buttons. Check it out. TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. Also, before we get into the next topics, want to go ahead and put that, disclaimer out there. I am definitely not a professional. I don't have credentials to be speaking on a majority of what I speak on. It's solely my, here and there perspective. Uh, and that's that. I'm not really trying to tell you what to do, how to do it, where to do it, and how long to do it. That's for you as an individual to figure out for yourself. I just come across things and talk about them. And in doing so, I express my perspective on it. And, it could be wrong for some and right for others. I don't know. I really can't think too heavily on, in a way of caring um, who I may be offending or not. I definitely don't have the intention to offending someone as much as I have more of an intention of just putting out information. If that offends you in some way, uh, I, I can't really apologize for it because I wasn't intending to do that. It's just a thing of, okay, um, clearly there are other sources of content you could be listening to, and I encourage you to do so. If for whatever reason, whatever I'm saying is offending you, or not in the the category of things you like to listen to. If though you are highly entertained by someone that talks about random shit and comes to conclusions that can be somewhat uh, you know engaging in some way and laughable in a lot of other ways, then feel free to continue listening. And I encourage you to you know, let your like-minded friends know the same. And as long as I keep seeing that, I'll keep doing it. And thanks to everybody that continues listening. So let's get into the things that we're going to talk about in this episode. I'm sure they're going to be pretty, pretty pretty interesting. I guess that's the best way. But I will say, probably some of the stuff that we'll be talking about will trigger some people in one way or another. I don't know exactly how it will trigger you. It's kind of like that thing that you watch on some video games, stuff like that. It's like, hey, strobing lights may cause seizures. I don't know how this is going to kick off for you. I do know um, it can, not will, but it can cause you to want to go kick some ant beds and smash cans at least because of some of the things discussed. But hopefully you enjoy it just the same and at least come back and want to hear some more. So enjoy and here we go. Okay, okay. First up, here's one of the things I wanted to just bring to people's attention, and I know um, never has it been to where even in the previous previous show history, we've talked about missing people before, or talked about people that have been missing for a long period of time, but never have we like advocated for people to find or look for or help in a search for a particular missing person. But this one I saw, I came across, and I was like, holy fuck! Kind of hit a chord. Figured put it out there for discussion, and actually, if it helps to find this person, that'd be great. I don't know the update wise. It hit uh, my news feed 7 days ago, actually, and I've been a lazy ass trying to figure out this whole content conundrum before discussing it here now. But you know, 7 days have passed, but hopefully it's been a happy update. But if not, hopefully somebody can help find this. But it came across my newsfeed of a Texas girl that's not been seen since 2017. And she was reported missing after her sister was found starving in a closet. Like that title alone just had me pause just like that again, just thinking, wait, so there's a girl that's been missing since 2017, and the only way that people found out about that was because her sister was found starving in a closet. Like there's there's certain, I guess, when you get to a point where you like try to be able to figure, okay, this is what the story is about, and then you find out like, oh, the story was found out because there's even a more fucked up, there's just as equal, if not more fucked up story behind that. So here it is. I'm just going to read it to you verbatim. And it's sort of one of those things like, okay, maybe the new episodes are just reading some articles solely because I don't want to add any flavor to this. I just want to give it to you raw because it is just as uh, dumbfounding on its own. Here we are. So, again, this is 7 days ago. So, what, May 7th? Something like that, whenever the fuck you're listening to it. But May 7th, this article dropped, and it was like Texas authorities are looking for a 9-year-old girl who was last seen more than 7 years ago after her mother was arrested in Austin last month on suspicion of starving a different child in a closet. Like, I'm going to be taking a lot of pauses reading this because when I first read I was taking longer pauses. So getting you guys are getting this after I've read it the first time, just to get ready to read it to you this time. So Ava Marie Gonzalez, 9 years old, was just 2 years old when she was last seen by family and friends December 2017, but was never reported missing until recently. So, and yes, I'm taking breaks after each paragraph to break it down so that we could digest it together. So yeah, this child who they're saying is 9, they're like, okay, she's 9 now, but she hasn't been seen since she was 2 in 2017. So she would be 9 now. Um, so don't go looking for the 2-year-old. She just hasn't been seen since she was 2. She's 9 now. Okay. And her name is Ava Marie Gonzalez. Um, the police spokesperson said, we just don't know where she is right now. What we're trying to figure out is her current status, where she is, who she's with, and if she's safe and healthy. So Austin police learned that Ava's disappearance they learned of Ava's disappearance, sorry, after responding to an emergency call um, April 3rd to help a 7-year-old girl who was locked in a closet starving. He added that the child was taken to a local hospital and is now, recovering currently. And so the authorities also located 6 other children in the home who appeared healthy, but discovered that an 8th child was nowhere to be seen. The child was later identified as Ava Marie Gonzalez. Now, the mother was, arrested and charged with child abuse. On April 24th, they arrested Ava's mother, 33-year-old, don't mind saying her name, Virginia Marie Gonzalez. And she has since been charged with causing serious injury to a child. And, she's currently held in a correctional complex with a bail set for $75,000. Now, if you all have heard me speak on previous episodes with the dinosaur, you will have heard me talk about my brief time of trying to figure out if I wanted to be a bounty hunter and Bill's bonds person. Yeah. So yeah, you're set at $75,000, but you really just got to get bonded out for $7,500, which is only going to be 10%. But that the Bill's person is basically, that's a guarantee that you will get to court. I don't necessarily know why um, they would want to provide that with someone that's done something, in my perspective, that heinous. But here we are. So of course, she tried to reach out to the attorney. That didn't happen, but they're trying to figure out the whereabouts of this other child that's missing. So back to how they figured it out. There was a 7-year-old that they were called out to come and check on, and The arrest affidavit accuses Gonzalez of locking the 7-year-old girl in a closet for weeks at a time, according to sources that got the information from the police. And the child was reportedly found, of course, malnourished, soiled, and barricaded in a bedroom closet. The medical staff found the girl weighed 29 pounds and had dark colored spots all over, covering her body, and a sign of malnourishment. And the the child told staff her bones hurt. I have no idea. I have no way of comprehending what I just read. From the perspective of a child, to be in a situation like that, especially with others in the room as well. It's yeah. The grandmother told police the girl had issues controlling her bladder and continuously tried to eat things she shouldn't. So her siblings were ordered to keep her in the closet. That made it no better. That sentence made it no better. An older sibling told police the child was given half a cup of water and would only eat a hot dog, corn dog in the morning and the evening. It's either hot dog or corn dog. It's hot dog slash corn dog in the morning and then in the evening. So basically, a hot dog or a breaded hot dog. You know, one can only assume there was no bun with the hot dog. If you're doing this to your child, you're probably not giving, uh, you know, extras with a bun for the hot dog. Probably was a cold hot dog as well, straight from the refrigerator. Why go through the formality of cooking it, right? Um, but officers on scene reportedly found a fridge stacked with various food options. It just, you know, just basically saying "fuck you, kid," and putting you in a closet because, as the grandmother states, um, she had issues controlling her bladder and continuously tried eating things she shouldn't. Whatever the whatever the fuck that means. What are you trying to eat that you shouldn't? I don't know. Um, I forget the name of the condition that we've covered before. It was she eating just things that you shouldn't be eating, like nails and glass and whatnot. I don't know, but they didn't expound upon that. The closet the girl was trapped in was about 4 feet by 9 inches, by 1 foot, 10 inches. That's incredible dimensions there. And it had other items, as most closets do, had other items inside, leaving less room for the trapped child. So they provided like they have a picture of Ava, the missing girl. They have a picture of her when she was 2, and they have a picture of her, like one of those aged photos of what she could look like. Who knows? And so Ava is, so they go on to, break into that portion of the story in this article, just to get, make sure people are on the lookout for this girl who's missing. And it's like, yeah, so Ava's a 9-year-old Hispanic female with straight brown hair and brown eyes. Her weight and height are unknown, as she hasn't been seen since she was 2. So the police provided a progress photo of Ava to show what she may look like. They have no idea, because they're just so like we can only go off the assumed that she's aging and, with nourishment as a normal person, but we have no idea where this kid may be. And so department in Austin is urging everyone with information regarding this case, Ava's whereabouts, and like I said, we don't normally do this, but this case was so fucked up, and maybe it becomes a turning point where it's something that I do now every time I come across missing um, children cases or just cases where things are really fucked up for kids and they need more information and for people to be able to help out. So um, the department in Austin is asking for any information regarding the case with Ava and her whereabouts. Either email them at ava at austintexas.gov or anonymously call 512-572-8477. I I think there's a lot of things that get covered that we've covered in the past and that I will continue to cover that blows my fucking mind. Now, I don't know if it's like some deep-seated thing to where, I can think and have thought and have done some things that are can would raise some eyebrows. Well, maybe some people were like, "Oh, I don't want to hang out with this dude." I get it. I get it. So maybe when I read things like this, and I'm just like, "Fuck, I know I'm not that dark, and these people need to be stopped." That maybe there's something where I feel better about myself in that regard. I don't know. All I know is that's not what I'm looking for. It's just that when I read articles like this, I'm just like, fuck. The least I could do is just read it out, and hopefully somebody will hear about this case and this situation. I think it's always a thing when children are involved. It hits a little different for me because they they really a lot of times they had no choice in the matter. They had no understanding of what is going on. You're two, okay? You're two. What the fuck do you mean? She's she can't control her bladder. For the 7-year-old, that is. Sorry, 7-year-old is like, okay, yeah, she can't control her bladder, and she's trying to eat things she shouldn't. So the best way to address this is lock them up in a small ass closet in the bedroom. So that kind of means that somebody was sleeping in there, right? Um, with the kid locked in there, knowing they weren't they. I mean, they're kids, so they're probably not sitting quietly. Who knows? Maybe this will traumatize. They do speak. They do. They are pretty quiet. I don't know. What I know is that it's it's every bit of fucked up as I've read things I've read about this case. Pretty much sums it up with what I was just reading there. But yeah, yeah, that's why the title was so fucked up. You're called as an officer. You're called to a situation of a kid locked in a closet. You find a 7-year-old malnourished girl locked in a closet for weeks on end, um, only fed, for weeks at a time. This kid is locked in a closet, only fed a hot dog or hot dog slash corn dog, in the morning and then in the evening. They're 7 years old and they weigh 29 pounds. Then you find out there are 6 other kids there. But then you also find out There's an eighth, and that one hasn't been seen since 2017. And it's like the fucked up cake just keeps getting a layer. It's like, okay, so you walk into a fucked up scene, you find out more information about that fucked up scene. Then you find out, hey, there's another kid missing. Then you find out, oh yeah, he was two and we haven't seen her since 2017. Then you realize, oh, you just said 2017. So, why? Yeah, we just never reported it. What do you mean you never reported it? Yeah, no, we we just never got around to reporting it because we were like, well, we just didn't. We just didn't. We didn't know what to say about it. So what do you, so you're saying you just sat around for 7 years, 7+ years, knowing that this 2-year old has not been seen, and you're just like, yeah, it's weird. We've been wondering what's going on with her, but no, we never called the police, CPS, uh, anything actually. Just uh, we just know last time we saw her was December 2017. Like I've been in and out of relationships in that amount of time, and you're saying that a 2-year old has just been just woof, vanished and no one's giving a fuck. I think that that's the thing that hits me in a way with these types of cases is where you've you've got people, adults, you've got other people that have come to a solid conclusion of not giving a fuck for someone that really they have no real play in that um emotion and that response, and you're not pressing the other adult, her mom. You're not pressing this this Virginia Marie Gonzalez, which birth mother, okay, fine, whatever. As to like, hey, where's Ava? Like, we haven't seen her since we haven't seen her in 7 days. We haven't seen her in 14 days. We haven't seen her in 21 days. We haven't seen her in 3 months. We haven't seen her in 3 years. Where the fuck is this kid? Why aren't you finding that out? Or do you just not give a damn? And maybe it's that. So, yeah. Anyway, help out. So, yeah, it 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 doesn't get better. When I think about it more, and like I said, it's not something that is typically done, but hopefully there's something that somebody somewhere um, can shed some light on where Ava may be, her whereabouts, whatever information, additional information. And again, if you happen to have that information or happen to like knowing somebody or seeing a kid that reminds you of her or whatever, here again is the email. It's an email of her name, Ava. So it's AVA at austintexas.gov. Or, as I mentioned earlier, you can call Um, anonymously, you can call 512-572-8477 and give whatever information you've got, because it's been 7 years plus, and this kid had nothing to do um, with with what occurred to her. I mean, it's apparently she would be 9 right now. The only picture they have of her that's available is of it's of her when she was 2 in in April, and then in December of 2017, which December 2017 was the last time her family friends had seen her. So who knows? Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she's safe. Um, she'll be 9 right now, but who knows? I mean, as a parent with the condition of her other sibling who was locked in a closet, who was 7 when she was found, and 29 pounds. Hopefully her recovery continues in the hospital. But super, super fucked situation, no matter how. Again, it is AVA at austintexas.gov, or you can call anonymously at 512-572-8477. I'll be on the lookout for an update to this. Hopefully there's a happy update that can be provided to people who want to hear some sort of closure with this, because I hope there is. But yeah, that's awesome topic. I know. Hey, with recent changes coming along and in the works, you might find yourself in a situation where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna have to go live outside, or I'm gonna have to make a fire, or I'm gonna have to learn how to fish, or fill in the blank in whatever situation you might be in. Whether it's you're doing something nefarious and you got to be on the run for a little bit, or shit went down beyond your control and now everybody's living outside. You might want to read up before that all happens. You know, might be hard to read once you're in that situation. So be great to read up now. And while the opportunity is available, you might want to head on over to the website, TheDinosaur&TheDude.com, and clickety clack on our link to our favorite, favorite, favorite book, the book. It's chock full of all kinds of goodness. You name it, it's probably got it in there, or it'll give you some tidbits on how to go about doing it, getting it, and providing for yourself. Whether you're just trying to get some information to just sharpen your abilities to be more self-sufficient, or you're, needing to get some information on how to do things properly when you have the least available in order to do it. I mean, you might get to a situation where you're stuck and you went hiking and you went for these berries and you tumbled down the side of the little cliff. It's a little cliff. You survived, but now you got to figure out, how do I get back and how do I stay warm? And the temperature's going to drop and all those other things that you know you see on television where people get found. But you don't want to be a statistic. You want to survive. So get the book. Um, I'm sure there's a heavy asterisk on that, that it's not like, read this book and you're guaranteed to survive whatever situation you're in. They're probably not, liability's sake. They probably don't want to come off that way. And I'm going to go ahead and say it probably isn't a guarantee that it will save you, but at least give you some information, you know, to give you the best chance possible. Either way, get the book. It's a great, phenomenal thing to have, and you can find it on TheDinosaur&TheDude.com. Okay, so some of you are probably like, please give me something else to listen to that makes me feel better. I totally get it, and I don't know if this will make you feel better. I'm just gonna preface that right now. I have no clue if this is gonna help you feel better at all. All I know is this is kind of some freaky shit that kind of goes without, needs some explanation. But the title of the article that fell in to my lap was sort of weird, to say the least, because it didn't make any sense, and I was wanting it to make sense. I haven't read it all the way because I read the title. It's like, nah, fuck it. I really don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I really don't know where or what this is all about. But I will read it to you, and we will hold hands and walk through this together. This came to me. I'm kind of I'm kind of scared to read it. I have to admit, it came to me 7 days ago. No, wait, 4 days ago, May 10th. Fuck, I'm like math is even getting. So, all right, here we go. Starts off simple enough. The title starts off simple enough. Okay. Um, Soviet Cosmos 482 spacecraft crashes into an unknown site on Earth. All right. So you're like, okay, something the Soviets sent into space, and it's now crashed uh, somewhere on Earth. It's an unknown site, which is kind of crazy because, like, okay, we know it crashed, but we don't know where it's crashed. It's unknown. No, fuck you. You know where it is. Okay, let's not play dumb. Okay, it's an unknown site. It's crashed. We've got a reading that this thing that was sent by the Soviets crashed into Earth. Right? We don't know where. It's unknown. Okay, fine. Take that as you will. But the subtitle is what made me not read any further, because I was just like, okay, I gotta settle my brain from coming up with its own storylines. But the subtitle is okay. I just read you that, and it says the craft was last detected over Germany and is believed to have completed an uncontrolled reentry after a botched mission to Venus left it orbiting Earth for more than 50 years. What? So at first, when I first read this, I thought like, oh, did it go to Venus and it came back like somebody was on Venus like, hey man, take your trash. I didn't want that shit. Or it was like some weird kind of message in the bottle kind of form of communication where we're just tossing back satellites and everything. But okay, so then you'd be like, okay, maybe it was just sort of like this thing. We tried to send it to Venus and it just got stuck in orbit, or, our orbit. And it's just been hanging out there for like 50 years. And kind of sort of that's what it seems like. The Soviet spacecraft launched in 1972 on a failed mission to Venus is believed to have crashed back into Earth early Saturday morning. European Space Agency, which was monitoring the craft's uncontrolled descent, said it was last reported by radar over Germany, and at the time of the expected crash, the radar could no longer detect Cosmos 482, concluding that it is most likely that the re-entry has already occurred. I love that science is so up there that there's still room for most likely. Like we got GPS and shit that maps out our paths and maps, the time, tells us how long it's going to take and where there's accidents, and cops, police are here, but there's still that room for most likely um, that the reentry has already occurred. We're pretty, we feel like there's a high percentage of certainty with that, but most likely it's to have done it. It we have no definitive confirmation right now, but as they state, no injuries or damage have been reported. They show a picture of the replica of Venera 4. They show a picture of that. And this is supposedly like what, you be on the lookout for. Like it still has CCCP on the side. Um, the Venera 4, the first probe to transmit data from the atmosphere of another planet, is similar to the Cosmos 482 that was launched afterward and became stuck in Earth's orbit. And so that's the big thing. The Cosmos 482 spacecraft was part of the USSR's Venera program, and it was a series of probes that were deployed to research the planet Venus. 10 of those missions successfully landed on the hot, barren planet, but the rocket carrying Cosmos 482 malfunctioned. Okay. And so, yeah, so Russia had 10 missions of sending probes to Venus. Who the fuck knew? I didn't. And then this one, 482, it malfunctioned, and then in its upper stage, um, which contained the descent craft, got stuck in orbit, in Earth's orbit. So over the following 53 years, the approximately 3 foot wide, 1,069-pound spacecraft circled the Earth in an ever smaller elliptical orbit until it came close enough to fall into the planet's atmosphere. Um, yeah, it's not unusual for a space junk to fall back to Earth, and I feel like that term is just sort of, given with a wave of the hand. Space junk, guys. No, this shit is over 1,000 pounds. I don't like. Did we say is space cars? Like it's over 1,000 pounds. It's 3 foot wide, over 1,000 pounds. Space junk. Like, can you imagine something that dense falling from the sky? Like, it's fucking you up if it's falling off of a two-story building. It's coming from the sky. It's coming from orbit, and it's like just coming down, and you lose it. You're just sort of like, yeah. Last we saw, it was over Germany, and then it just sort of went. I mean, most likely, it's already done its thing. And like, yo, this is okay. I digress. It's space junk, whatever. So it's not unusual for space junk to call, to fall back to Earth. More than 2,400 human-made objects fall, well, they've fallen actually from space. What? Hold the fuck up. I'm not even done with the whole sentence. This first half of the sentence has fucked me over. So more than 2,400 human-made objects fell from space in 2022. A record number, by the way. And wow, that's from the European Space Agency. They calculated that 2,400. That was in 2022. So who knows what 23, 24, and 25 is cranking just started. So who knows what the fuck we got? We're almost halfway through 2025. So maybe we got a rough guess. I don't know. But the vast majority of them, okay, they burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, and most of them, most of them that didn't splash into the ocean. You know, can you imagine like the bottom of the ocean just got like, all this kind of space debris, all this shit that's been in space, and it's just like they say, wave your hand, space junk. That's crazy. But okay, so the Cosmos 482 was built to withstand a descent through Venus's dense atmosphere and to operate on the planet's surface, where the mean temperature is 863 degrees Fahrenheit, 464 degrees Celsius if you Celsius. That meant it was theoretically hard enough to survive a comparatively easy reentry through Earth's atmosphere. I love in this article they give this whole thing about space junk and I think 2400, but they mostly burn up. Yeah, nah, nah, not Cosmos 482 though. This some bitch is we we built that to withstand that thing. It was supposed to kick it on Venus, so yeah, it can hold over here. It can hold together uh over 800 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hard enough to survive a comparatively easy reentry through Earth's atmosphere. So there's no record of space debris ever causing a human fatality, by the way, just so you know. And the risk of this is from the ESA officials, the European Space Agency officials. The risk of any satellite reentry causing injury is extremely remote. The annual risk of an individual human being injured by space debris is under 1 in 100 billion. I love that they have odds. In comparison, a person is about 65,000 times more likely to be struck by lightning. It's interesting that they always do that. Like not always, I'll take that back, but that a lot of times when I hear odds given, they'll reference in comparison being struck by lightning. the, like that's supposed to be a comforting alternative, I guess. I don't know, or like, hey, it is far more likely for you to get struck by lightning than it is for you to get struck by wave your hand space jump. Over 1,000 pounds of space junk. It's far more likely. It's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, you mean this whole thing with Cosmos 482, that stout Betty came through? Okay, cool. We can't find it though. It fell in an unknown part of the earth. So there's still some spots on the earth we have not they're considered unknown. So we think that's where Cosmos 482 landed because no one's reported it. Maybe because it was so like big and whatnot, it just obliterated whatever the fuck. It just like just hit and cratered everything. So nobody's really out there reporting anything. Maybe I don't know. Um, so yeah, on Friday, the U.S. Space Force, fabulous name, forecast that the spacecraft would re-enter the atmosphere at 1:52 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday morning above the Pacific Ocean west of Guam. And since then, no fucks given. It like, and I think that's the thing. A lot of times, that's that's the effort that's left in it. Just people don't give a fuck. It's because it's not anything happening to them particularly or personally. Like if Cosmos 482 was headed to Chicago, all right, I think there would be a little bit more eyebrows up on that. I think people would be like, okay, what the fuck do we do? We need to we need to blow that up before it hits, right? And that's some math I'm not ready to math because it's coming really fast. You got maybe one shot to do it because it's closing so much ground so quickly. And you got to do something right away, maybe before it even starts. Like it's coming down. Why don't you just pop that some bitch while before it starts really kicking up speed? I mean, it's 1,000 pounds. It's 3 feet wide, over 1,000 pounds, and it can handle over 800 degrees Fahrenheit. It You might want to address that, but since it's going to be over the Pacific and headed toward west of Guam, whatever. Hey, it's going to be in the ocean. Fuck it. Ah. So there's that. So hopefully everybody's safe after. Hopefully everyone's safe. Who knows? I'll see if there's an update on that as well for Cosmos 482, which came back after 53 years of a diminishing orbit, where it was caught in the orbit in our own Earth's orbit, um, on a botched mission to Venus, where 10 other missions took place. And yeah, I guess so. It's been getting research material from Venus uh, for quite some time. So, so there you go. There's two topics brought to you on on this episode. I don't know what to call it yet. Maybe just stick to what it is right now. But hey, as with all the things that we've done before and all the things that I plan on doing in the future, thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me your ears and interest. Really appreciate it. Know I've been away for a while, and some of you might have left, and now you've come back, and so we appreciate that. I appreciate that. Eventually I'll stop saying we, but I appreciate it, and I really hope you continue listening. Tell your friends, check it out too. We started on something new, and you might enjoy it. Um, More strange stories from around the world, and more of my personal takes in rabbit holes. Uh, Shoot messages. For right now, we're still using the same means of communication. You can find us on social media. You can find on social media and hit me up. Say, hey, dude, love to be on an episode, a conversation, have a conversation. If you're an interesting fucking person, I would love to have you on as a conversation. There's a few topics, a few things. I'm trying to reach out to specific people in order to have a series of conversations based on one particular theme or topic. But in general, just grab bag. Love to talk to different people from different perspectives, different things that are interesting. Some of them people might find taboo, but some I'd love to give people a platform in order to just have a genuine, non biased conversation about something just so that there's like the attempt of gaining some sort of understanding. I feel like that's the big thing that a lot of the you know the a lot of what is trying to be done with conversations is getting an understanding. I'm not looking to be swayed in the way I think nor swaying the way that other people think. Just getting understanding of what is this person and or their thing all about, and not to not to get the impression of or the perspective of what it is that they're all about based off of someone else's interpretation. I think um, a lot of times we base responses, interaction, way we interact, and our stances on people, places, and things totally off the information that was given from another person, a third party. There's no effort being put towards talking to that particular person or that particular group solely because someone else that had shit on them or about them said, "Hey, they're fucked up. Don't That's you should be mad at them too." And like, okay, I guess so, but I've always been the person that I would rather talk to you than base my impression of you off of something someone else has said. Now there are some instances where I don't give a fuck about that. Like if like say for instance conversation, I mean the topic we just had, or where I read the article about Ava Marie Gonzalez. I really don't give a fuck about Virginia, her mom. I don't want to know her side of the story. I don't want to get an understanding of that. I mean, in a way, I guess there's something there to be um, found out, but I'm not really sympathetic toward it. I really don't have a genuine desire especially at this point, to get that information. I really don't want I want to get into her head and figure out like why she thought that was the best thing to do to a 2-year old and to a 7-year old. Yeah, I don't have that desire um, to get that deep with it, you know. But there are certain things with other people that I do. And with those people, I'd love to have a conversation with them. I love to pick the brain and see, beyond the stereotypical thing, beyond what they're known for, just at them as a person, um, or as if it's a group as people, what they're all about beyond what others know them for or assume them for, and um, it's just it's a thing. It's a thing that's always interested me. I mean, I think we've touched on it a couple of times when I've talked about artists versus art, where your impression from someone based off of the thing that they are known for may not add up with the person personally. The art might be amazing, but the artist might be a shitty human being. And so it's that's always been interesting to me, how people can love the art and be so down with it, and have this impression of the artist based off of the art, only to find out that the artist is not someone they would ever give the time of the day to. They're horrible. They're someone they want to see locked up. They're someone that they just despise against everything that they stand for. And now they're left in this kind of weird state of fuck. I enjoy their music though. I enjoy their art though. I enjoy whatever they were doing. But now I got to be like, oh, I can't enjoy that anymore because, oh, whatever they did. That's intriguing to me. But anyway, hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone continues to do well. Hope you all continue listening. And I'm still down for the motherfuckers, fatherfuckers, and gigolos and gigahos. Hope you all are doing well. And let's do it again. I'm not entirely sure about the frequency. let's do it again. I'm refining content. I'm not going to be just coming on every time. So I don't know if that's once a month, twice a month, 30 times. I don't know. But I want to get um, more focused content instead of just shotgun, blah, 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 you know. So two topics, um, two things to discuss and commentary surrounding it. We go from there and see what happens. All right. You can continue with your day, but make sure that you go to TheDinosaur&TheDude.com and our social media platforms for now. And if that changes, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what it changes to. As long as I figure out what the title of this shit. Until then, check you all later.